Hello students, we have a problem here wherein the processes arrival time and the burst time is given, and we have to find the average waiting time and turnaround time. So the first one we are going to see is SRTF. Okay, so when you say SRTF is preemptive. So first you must remember the meaning of preemptive. So whenever we say preemptive, it is possible for us to stop in between. Okay, and SRTF is nothing but preemptive SJF. So what is the meaning of SJF? Whichever process is having the smallest burst time, that is a process which will be executed first. Okay, so we have to find the average waiting time and turnaround time. So for that we require the Gantt chart. Okay, so the main thing is Gantt chart, you have to write it properly, because looking into the Gantt chart we are going to calculate the average waiting time as well as the turnaround time. So we'll go to the first one, that is SRTF. So you can see here arrival time is given. So when arrival time is given, you have to check the arrival time also. Okay, so we'll begin. So we are beginning at the zero arrival time. So at the zero arrival time, how many process you have? You have only one process, that is P naught. Okay, P naught, because the next process comes in at 1, but we are still at 0th millisecond. Okay, so this P naught takes 6 milliseconds to complete. Okay, so this is preemptive, so you cannot allow P naught to complete entire 6, but you have to check. Okay, you have to check at what time? At 1 millisecond, because at 1 millisecond you have another process P1 coming in. So at 1 millisecond you have to stop and check. So P naught, actually it requires 6 milliseconds to complete, but out of that 1 millisecond you have completed, so 5 is remaining. And at 1 millisecond you have another process P1 coming in. So P1 takes how many milliseconds to complete? 3 milliseconds to complete. So out of this, which one is having the smallest burst time? That is P1. So what you're going to do? You are going to preempt. You are going to preempt P naught, and you're giving the control of CPU to another process P1. Okay, so now P1 takes 3 milliseconds to complete. So it will be executing, but since this is preemptive, you have to stop, pause at the next arrival time, which is the next arrival time, that is 2. You have to check here. What you have to check? So at arrival time 2, how many process you have? You have P naught, P1 and P2. Okay, P naught, how much is remaining? So initially 6 was there, but 1 was executed, so 5 is pending, 5 milliseconds to complete. And P1, actually it required 3. Okay, but out of that 3, here what happened? 1 millisecond it has executed, so 2 are pending. And at 2 millisecond you have one more process P2 coming in, which takes 1 millisecond to complete. Okay, so what you're doing now, out of all this, which is the smallest one? P2. So what you will do? You will preempt. You will preempt P1 and you will give the control to P2. P2 takes how many milliseconds to complete? It takes only 1 millisecond to complete. So it will go up to, how much? For this 2 you are adding 1, so it will go up to 3. Now you are at, so now what happened? P2 is completed fully, because it requires only 1 millisecond to complete. Now you are at arrival time 3. At arrival time 3, you have one more process P3. So you write down the status here. P0 5 is pending, P1 2 is pending, and P2 is completed fully, and now P3 is there, which takes 4 milliseconds to complete. So out of all this, which is the least one? P1. So what you're doing now it is not required for you to stop and check at every time here. So you can allow P1 to execute completely. So you're allowing P1 to execute completely. So for this 3, you're adding this 2 remaining burst time. That time it will go up to 5. Now which are the process pending? P0 5 millisecond pending, P3 4 milliseconds. So smallest one is P3. You are allowing P3 to complete. So for this 5 you add this 4, remaining 4. So it will finish at 9 milliseconds. Okay, and finally you have only one process pending, that is P0. So P0, how much it takes? 5 milliseconds to complete. For this 9 you add 5, so it will go up to 14. Just verification you can check. 6 plus 4 10, 13, 14. So even here it came up to 14. So this is how you're drawing the Gantt chart. So this part, whatever I have written, this part, okay, this is only for your reference. In the exam, these points are important. These points, whatever you written in the Gantt chart, these are important. Now you're calculating the waiting time. How you're calculating the waiting time? For P naught. P naught came in at what time? 0 time, and it got the CPU at 0. So 0 minus 0, that is 0 millisecond. For P1, P1 came in at 1 millisecond, but it got the CPU at 1 millisecond. So 1 minus 1. But you can see P1 is there once again. So for that purpose, you're writing plus. So what happened here? P1 started executing here, then it stopped at 2, and again when it got the control at 3. So 3 minus 2, how much it will be? So this is 0, 0 plus 3 minus 2, that is 1. So 1 millisecond. And P2 came in at 2, and it got, oh sorry, just a mistake here. So we'll begin from first. That is waiting time. P naught is there once again, right? Sorry, I did not check it. Okay. P1 came in at 0 millisecond, got the CPU at 0 millisecond. So 0 minus 0, how much you're going to get? That is 0. And you can see P1 is there once again, plus. So P1 executed till here, and again where it got, it executed till 1 millisecond, and it was stopped, and again where it got the control at 9 milliseconds. So 9 minus 1. So total it is waiting for 8 milliseconds. Okay, so this time period is waiting for its turn to get the CPU. Now we'll go to P1. P1 came in at 1 millisecond, got the CPU at 1 millisecond. So 1 minus 1, that is 0. Again P1 is there over here, so plus. So it is stopped its execution at 2 millisecond, got again at 3 milliseconds. So 3 minus 2. So much you're getting? 1 millisecond. Next one is P2. P2 came in at 2 millisecond, got the control of CPU at 2 milliseconds. So 2 minus 2, that is equal to 0 millisecond. Okay. Next one is P3, came in at 3 millisecond, got the control of CPU at 5 milliseconds. So 5 minus 3, that's equal to 2 millisecond. Now you have to calculate the average waiting time, that is 8 plus 1 plus 0 plus 2, that is 2, 4, 10, 11. 10, 11, 11 by 4. 11 by 4 is much? 2.5, around something like that. Okay, those many milliseconds. Next we are calculating the turnaround time. So how we are calculating the turnaround time? Burst time plus waiting time. Okay, so for P naught, what is a burst time? 6. For P1, burst time is 3. P2 burst time is 1. P3 burst time is 4. Okay, plus what is the waiting time for P naught? 8. Waiting time for P1, 1. Waiting time for P2, 0. Waiting time for P3 is 2. So 14, 4, 1, 6. So how much it will be? Average turnaround time will be 14 plus 4 plus 1 plus 6 divided by 4. How much? 20, 24, 25 by 4. 25 by 4 is 6.2 something. Okay, those many milliseconds. So this is your SRTF. I hope you have understood this.